Okay, folks. So during the next 5 days of my life, I have to deal with 5 consecutive night shifts at my job. So I'm really hoping I pull through this period and demonstrate that I'm going to be good enough at my job to be able to access the benefits of becoming a long-term employee there. Because I'm currently within a probationary period in which I think I've been performing well, but not necessarily with flying colors across the board. Anyway, suppose you are, I don't know, in your 30s and you're alone for the 10,000th night in your life. And you're about to go to sleep, but you still feel energized by some sense of anxiety, dread, and excitement regarding what's going to happen in your future. At some point in your introspective or reflective journey, you'll probably develop a practical need to ask yourself, what's going to be on the other side of all my suffering? So, it's very easy to claim that you want the standard, conventionally coveted things, like money, social status, romantic bonds, fancy possessions, capacity enhancement like top secret stimulants or something, tasty foods, etc. But what I'd recommend you do is take some pens and papers and try to provisionally sketch out a few probable worst case scenarios. So for example, and this is where you want to turn off the video in case you're not at least 18 years old, I'd recommend imagining, say, living in a drab, rotting bedroom in a low-income area while working for poverty wages and expecting to deal with some kind of grave danger completely at random through no moral shortcoming of your own. What you want to do is take some pens and papers and write down that scenario at the top of one of your pages, and then ask yourself, how can I force that kind of ultra-bleak situation to suit the moral legacy I want to have? So, I personally don't expect for tons of people to show up at my eventual funeral. I expect that there's going to be a handful of people because I've organized my life in a way that makes it so that I'm not going to be popular because I'm allergic to popularity. You know, sort of like, actually, I'm not going to make the joke I was about to make because it was a bit distasteful, but the point is, this is kind of a much shorter and easier adaptation of the fear-setting exercise that was repeatedly invoked in podcasts and conversations had by Tim Ferriss, who is much more successful than I am financially and in terms of his ability to get social status and whatnot. So, yeah, this is something to think about. You know, what's going to be on the other side of all my suffering? Privately, secretly make a decision regarding what you want to happen to your soul in subsequent years and decades, because you're never going to regret the next time you end up lonely and know exactly where you're heading, regardless of what anyone else says or thinks or does. It's like, regardless of what I'm going through, I'm going to make God smile with my private actions.